Versuch mal nicht zu springen.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past.
Ach.
Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
Aha.
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Alter. In der Familie obsessiv mit dem Tod. Das Klappern ist auch überhaupt nicht creepy. Bob. Die Schlange. Wahrscheinlich hätte die ganzen Vögel gefressen. Shrine Sketches. Also
Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones. Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
okay, verstehe. So, Calvin und Sam waren anscheinend Twins, ne? Ja. Ist auch einfach so gestorben und das Zimmer versiegelt, ne?
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
Edith the Electric. Sam Photo Award. Conspiracy News. Oh ja, natürlich. Edith Interview. Random Junk. Weird American. The Finch. Super. Das wenn.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
A little forest fire.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Künstler. Norweger. Lass mich den Drachenherz nochmal.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Hüte. ist doch gerade gestorben. That's not this house, oder? Doch. Doch, das ist das Haus, ja. Da fehlt nur der Anbau links, ja.
Her room was like a museum.
Ja, dann.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
Okay. Ob's das Haus ist?
But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery.
Bevor das Haus fertig war?
His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Okay.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Okay. Grandma likes it pink.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Grandpa Sam's wife Kay. Das ist die, ja, das war die, genau da, ne? Das ist der Einzige, der irgendwie halbwegs überlebt hat, der Sam. Genug, um ein paar Kinder zu haben, ja. Ist auch zu, okay. Okay. Ja, mach auf.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Fotolabor.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Sven, Sam, genau. Also Sven ist der Vater, Sam ist der Sohn. Okay. Milton, das ist doch ihr Bruder. Oh. War wohl jemand von nicht allzu... Aha. Ach, das ist in der Küche jetzt oder sowas. Ah, in Miltons Zimmer, ja. Ich dachte, Milton war ihr Bruder. Guck mal, Milton, ganz oben. 92. Ach so, aber warum steht da Milton an der Wand? Ja, stimmt. Ah, verstehe, jetzt habe ich verstanden, ja. Nein, bleib doch schon oben. Most improved player. Certificate of stuff. Cool. Er war wohl so military, ja?
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
Ja. Guck mal schnell noch da hoch. Da war ich ja hochgelaufen.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Die Oma hingegen?
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did.
Super.
At Barbara's funeral, we swore he'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. And maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Er ist zumindest mal halbwegs normal gestorben.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again. The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Ach, das Weinkabinett. Okay. Milton. Oh. Ah, bei der Barbara.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Afterwards, so die 2 Jahre bevor sie gestorben ist. Ja gut, aber sie ist mit 16 halt gestorben. Ja. Fire.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was canceled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight. Old Finch rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Surprise.
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep, watching the hours later.
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned saw the Hookman, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges grow. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Classic Hookmörder.
The Hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... Someone at the door was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Slightly creepy.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Okay. Gut. Dann gehen wir doch mal in den Keller, ne?
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box. Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Im Vergleich zum Rest vom Haus ist es ja der einzige Raum, der off-limits ist.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
Mhm. Ausbaupotenzial.
I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that. I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
The nuclear shelter.
If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Fake windows.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can. I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one little day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real. I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. Three of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Ja, diese Familie hat ein Problem.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Warum Edie in Anführungszeichen? Also Edie ist am 5. Dezember gestorben. Die Kinder sind hier gar nicht.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
Wer ist Sanjay Kumar? Ah, ihr Mann wahrscheinlich, ne? Wird Sinn machen, dass der Mann von Dawn ist, ja, ne? Der Louis ist also 2 Wochen vor der Oma gestorben. Das wollte ich wissen, ja.
We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
Achso, nur Born.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Ach je. Ja.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
Kuchen?
They were both pretty intense. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something. Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Oh.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged. Not quite.
What?
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
Did you want to get a picture of me or what?
Wo ist er denn? Aha.
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I definitely... Hey!
That's a keeper.
Nothing quite like being outside. I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my... Don, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember... Give me a minute to check the map. Let's see. Maybe. What was it? You don't need to waste any more film on me, kiddo.
Was ist sonst nichts mehr da? Ach,
Could have been.
Dad!
Good eyes, Don. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of it.
Dad, I...
Just... Let me get behind you.
do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Now keep yourself squared up, elbows down, like we practiced. Whenever you're ready. Great shot, Don! I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay? Sorry, Don. Just gotta reset the timer.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's...
totally normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad! Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me. After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Finch control. Okay. Zwei Brüder, hä? Be a baby. creepy hier.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Gregory, it's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like. Reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw. It sure made him happy. I know how silly it sounds. That I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory, about everything. Be happy to. Good luck, Kate. Love, Sam.
Ich glaube, ich möchte jetzt aufhören. Müde. Ja. So.